What up, homies? We got a lot to talk about today. Even the cat wants to tell you. We're pissed at America, alright? America, you guys need our help. Whenever you guys need our help, we have to jump and help you. We don't even consider the option of not helping you. We help you because it's the right thing to do. America. I mean, the only way to put this is Trump's a bully. And boycotting American products in Canada is something we have to do. We are very much strapped to the ends, far worse than America. We pay more for stuff in Canada, and we have 33% less dollar than Americans. We live in the same continent. Remember, the dollar is an invisible monetary system created by the corrupt corporations of this planet in this last reset. This reset before we had free electricity, free energy. They took that from us. Do you want to know how I know? There were electric milk trucks 180 years ago with charging stations in the middle of the woods. You don't have to believe me. Go research and find proof of these pictures all over Google while you can before they scrub the internet any more than they already have. Remember, there are people out there who actually care about you, regardless if you're an American citizen or a Canadian citizen. I love you. Don't get it confused. Don't get it twisted. We're boycotting American corporations. You citizens watching my videos are not the ones I'm referring to. I'm referring to the ones who watch me and pay me as an... I am paid by corporate advertisers in Canada, mostly in America. Think about that for a second. Remember who I am. Who do I care more about? What do I care more about? The people or the money? You have all the information in front of you right now. Don't get it twisted. I love you all very much. I cannot stand corporations that steal, lie, and cheat and break the backs of normal, regular, beautiful, everyday citizens. I cannot stand you. And I never, ever will side with you. Never. Robin Hood till the end. I love you. This is a tough one for them. Alright, my G's, here we go. Make sure you drop a like, share the video. Don't come around if you're not cool. I don't want anyone in here who's total glue.
Nouvelle entente commerciale.
Do they just all teleport on stage? Like, there's like 12 of them, 9 of them. When do they funnel on stage here? Oh, here they go. Look, I saw a shadow. Oh, they all have points on the ground of places where they're supposed to stand. This has been quite rehearsed. Look at them. This has been rehearsed. And look at them looking around trying to figure out where one person goes. These are the people elected to govern us. Can't find a little stamp to stand. We're gonna watch this a couple times. They find it funny. I think it's seriously embarrassing. It's embarrassing to have people up there that are having a hard time finding where they stand.
Bonjour tout le monde.
Like, they find it, like, this is a hilarious thing. I think it's uncomfortable. For me, as the person being governed by these old people, this is uncomfortable. To say the very least. Like, oh, there's like a name on the ground. Which one is mine? Where? Oh, jeez. This guy's gonna be joining Biden right away in the folks' home.
Bonjour tout le monde. Good morning. As Donald Trump was officially inaugurated yesterday as President of the United States, my cabinet and I have gathered here with a singular focus. Uphold
my soft cabinet and I, my soft pillowy cabinet and I, who have never really done anything too much for Canada, have decided to stand here in front of this bunch of flags here today. It's so funny. If they're laughing at this, there's so many levels to this. I gotta watch more and again.
Bonjour tout le monde. Good morning. As Donald Trump was officially inaugurated yesterday as President of the United States, my cabinet and I have gathered here with a singular focus. Upholding our long-standing friendship with the United States and protecting Canada against potential tariffs. As I've stated on numerous occasions, the Canada-US trade relationship is one of the most successful in the world. La relation entre le Canada et les États-Unis est le résultat de décennies de collaboration et ça a permis de créer des opportunités et créer de la richesse et de la prospérité pour nos deux pays. Durant le premier mandat de M. Trump, on a négocié une nouvelle entente commerciale qui nous a permis de renforcer nos relations et de créer encore plus de bons emplois. We heard the president's comments yesterday and the directive he has issued to examine the trade relationship between Canada and the United States while exploring the possibility of tariffs, but we remain confident in the facts. Canadian energy powers American manufacturing, businesses, and homes. Of America's top 5 trading partners, Canada is the only one with whom the United States runs a trade surplus in manufacturing.
Let them do their own thing.
And Canada buys more goods made by
I say we cut them off. I say we buy off China like USA did. So here's something you Americans are really feeble to think about. Seriously, this is for you citizens. Any of you Americans shop at Walmart or the dollar store? Quickly say yes. Then you buy from China. China! And you Americans, you buy from China on one of the highest levels of any company, any business out of the free world. America buys the most wholesale products of China. So everybody else that does that is looked at as a bad person. I'll give you another example of how America is very one-sided. And this is the worst of them all. We talk about the environment, and we talk about how America gets down on China and India for burning coal and these other I don't know if it's called fossil fuels, but these other alternatives, and wood burning, coal, natural gas is the cleanest of those three. But India burns a lot of coal and wood for energy. So does China and Korea. But did you know America used to as well? America used to be a huge, and that landed in Canada, right? So now you got to think about this. If you're a third world, what does that actually mean? Well, I'll explain it to you. Corporations need energy in order to create business. Okay, they have to turn the lights on in the corporations. And they need a fuck ton of energy in order to run one corporation. They may need so much energy that they need a nuclear power plant. We could be talking about a Tesla factory in Canada. We could be talking about a huge mine with all sorts of businesses above ground around the mine. Manufacturing plants, things like that. And refineries above ground while the mine is underground, okay? Now these things take astronomical amounts of energy. So, when you're looking at a corporation, you have to look at a corporation as a whole. A corporation has an objective, right? A corporation has an opportunity, rather, to make your country better. Now, did you know there are corporations that are actually not shitty? Did you know that? There are corporations in Iceland who run... I'm going to have to look up the type of power company it is, but there's a power company in Iceland that runs some of the cleanest net zero energy in the world. Okay, so I know there's not a lot of you out there that understand energy and power and stuff like that, so I'm going to explain some stuff to you. There are some smaller nuclear... I'm not sure what the term is. It's like a tiny nuclear facility. These nuclear plants are so small they could fit in a shipping container, in a larger shipping container, an 80-foot, 120-foot shipping container, you can fit these new age, they're like mini nuclear plants, okay? You can fit that in there. Instead of it needing 50 blocks in Ontario, you can fit it in one shipping container now. It may not produce the same level, but it produces a fuck ton of energy. There are even smaller ones. What's the biggest box your family got for Christmas under the Christmas tree? There are smaller ones, about 2 feet, 3 feet wide, 3 feet long, 3 feet wide, 2 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet high. These things are placed underground with an extreme cooling system around that. And there are many nuclear power plants now that are being made all over the world. Did you know? They're actually quite efficient. And they're not as harmful anymore. The waste, I forget the nuclear waste after, I forget the term they call it, but that stuff is not as potent and harmful as it once was. And it can be, it's easier to dispose of the amount because it's not these huge isotope rods from a nuclear power plant that's 60 feet high, 84 feet long, 7 feet wide, and you need a crane to lift this. And it's nuclear, right? It's radioactive as AF, and it's just humming and sending out, emitting everywhere. We're talking about a 3 foot by 4 foot by 5 foot box underground that is 1/4, 1/10 as powerful. But you could have 70 of those, 150 of those in the same space you had one huge power plant, nuclear power plant in Ottawa. So when we begin to change, the reason why they don't want these measures put in place is because they profit far too much off your electricity bill and this inferior way of providing us power. Do you know that in Canada or the States, the energy, you call it how it's created, the energy production is very, very bad. Very, very bad. Wind turbines lose money. They lose energy. It takes more energy to make a wind turbine than a wind turbine can produce. And then we don't really count energy as in manpower and man hours, but energy should be also created as in how many man hours did it take to be erected, like put in place, built, created, all of that. Not just how many energy hours did it take to machine these parts. We have to include the amount of time a person worked on it and then how many people worked on it, multiply it by that. Because the energy it takes to provide humans life is quite exorbitant right now, especially for a Canadian in winter in Winnipeg. In order for one Canadian to live in a house or a small house or apartment here in Winnipeg, we need a fuck ton of energy right now here in January. A fuck ton. Not to mention, we got to drive to work every morning. So that means energy had to be created to create the vehicle the fucker had to sit in. You understand all the effects? Like there is a long list of energy that they aren't accounting for on top of this, that, and the other. So all I can basically tell you is one of the biggest things Tesla noted was that the energy companies didn't want to go forward with his device because they couldn't strap a fucking pain meter to a daily dosage pain meter. So you pay to use electricity and it spins, the dial spins in a circle.
Your lights are on, your wife's doing laundry, you're doing cooking, you're doing vacuuming, whatever you're doing, your wife's doing studying to be a doctor, whatever she's doing. Weightlifting, bodybuilding, whatever she's doing. But it's using energy as well. So that dial's spinning. Tesla wanted to provide everybody with free energy. Holy shit, when the 4 corporations that ran the world found that out, what do you think they did? And how come Tesla's invention never made it? Not to market, to the people. It was supposed to be free energy, his gift to the planet, to the good people who he was aided by. There are machine shops who helped Tesla free of cost. Tesla didn't have much money, but Tesla was like, hey, once I get this car going, if you ever want to borrow my fucking electric car that runs off fucking water or air, you can use it for free to go to the other city to get parts for your shop, to come back and triple charge me for a part that I need when I need stuff, right? That's the way business works. One person goes across somewhere further away and brings something back in bulk from another country who's poor, and they sell all these nuts and bolts they bought for 1 cent each for $5 each. The world is so messed up. We take from another area of the world at as cheap as possible. We buy in bulk, wholesale, so that the farmer makes like 1 penny for an orange. That farmer's at his forehead in debt. We have to stop. We have to cut out what I love this term. I live by the term since I was a tiny child. Cut out the fucking middleman. Do you know who the middleman is? The corporation. I'll explain. The first party who has the items for sale is a farmer or a machinist. Someone who works with their hands. A carpenter, a machinist is a metal worker. A stonemason is a person who works with stone, clay, tile, all of that. Those 3 livelihoods keep us alive. They put food on the table. They provide us with seed. They provide us with livestock for our smaller farms. Now, I don't believe in that way. I believe in the seed. Let's move past the livestock. And I'm sorry, I'm vegan. I don't think you guys need to eat meat. I think a lot of you are very much obese because you've eaten meat far too much in your life. When you eat vegetables and fruit, you eat clean. Now, that's as clean as the dirty farmer let you, or the proper organic farmer let you. Now, the dirty farmer would sit with more corporation style. Do you know most of the food in cans that's sold cheaply throughout the first world is hollow? I'll explain. Hollow fruits and vegetables contain no protein, no vitamins, no minerals. What are they good for then? It's cardboard. It's basically a filler now. So how do you make it healthy? You grow organically. As a master grower for decades on decades, I knew this. Decades on decades. Since the late 90s, I knew this. Rastafari. There's never been anything like what I've become. One day I should be the politician that runs this country, but I don't see myself fitting in with a family of millionaires and billionaires. I grew up so poor. I didn't attend a popular university, and my family didn't pay off anybody to give me a diploma from there. I have also never drawn blackface on myself. I have never ever done that. I refuse to. I consider myself a good man who never sides with corporations. Nobody on this stage can say that. They're shoulder to shoulder with corporations every day. You can look around you and see the last however many goof years this goof's been in power, 11 years. It's been bad for us. Now, the reason I make shows on YouTube isn't to hinder. I do it to help the people who deserve to be helped, the ones who are willing to listen, the ones who channel this, watch the videos till the end. As far as I'm concerned, for the rest of you who can't handle listening to 14 minutes of pure gold, the fuck out of here. Never liked you anyway, and you're sad sacks. You're sad sacks. I'll explain. You spend your life flipping through short videos when the greatest speech ever told was just dropped in 9 minutes. And with that speech, you could understand the path that you need to choose is the side of the people, not the corporate side. In 9 minutes, you can figure out your entire future because you know you will not join the side of evil. You will stay good. And what that entails is whatever you make of it in this time, right? Most people are still helping corporations right now, this fucking minute. I'm not, and I refuse to. I refuse to side with corporations that deem us unessential and keep us in the dark with public knowledge. Public knowledge is some of the saddest, poorest, sick shit you can come across. Public knowledge is disgusting and despicable. 99%, if not entirely, all public knowledge is pathetic and has no bearing on your so-called society you live in. Public knowledge will never, never make you rich. Public knowledge will never, never get you out of slavery. Never. How do you make it rich in the stock market? What's the term that's illegal? Insider trading, right? So public knowledge means you have zero inside information on markets, on business, on anything. Public knowledge is actually some of the most unimportant, non-factual, biased information, one-sided, thrown from probably the left. I don't care, left wing, right wing. They're both sides of the devil's wings, okay? So when you are walking around, if you're in politics in Canada and you think that you've bettered Canadians in some way, shape, or form with the political shit that you've pathetically done for us, then you're more lost than I can even imagine. You are so far gone in your pea-brain thoughts that you think anything a conservative person has done or a liberal has done. NDP screwed us. You guys watched Jagmeet Stink screw us for 9 months. 12, 13 months, he screwed us. Jagmeet Stink is the worst of them all. Trudy is by far the leader of some of the worst ideologies that have ever existed for days, minutes, or hours in Canada. Trudeau is at the top. And yeah, I do believe that not only is our government not for the people, but I believe the judicial system, the justice system, is far, far left-wing, far too conservative. Our justice system prevents us from having a clean and proper conversation. Our justice system, there are corrupt individuals who will do everything they can to find something bad on you. Well, my family and others, especially very high up people, their job is to ensure that you go to jail.
Americans than China, Japan, and Germany combined. On top of that, President Trump said that he wants to usher in a golden age for the United States.
Watch
That will
and see.
require more steel and aluminum, more critical minerals, more reliable and affordable energy, more of everything to run the U.S. economy full steam ahead. Canada has all those resources, and we stand at the ready to work with the United States to create a booming and secure North American economy. The alternative for them would be more resources from Russia, China, or Venezuela. Canada is a safe, secure, and reliable partner in an uncertain world. Notre relation commerciale avec les États-Unis, c'est gagnant-gagnant. On va donc continuer d'utiliser tous les outils à notre disposition pour le démontrer. President Trump also repeated his concerns about the border. While less than 1% of fentanyl and illegal immigrants that enter the United States come from Canada, our government has already acted to address the concerns raised by the president about border security with an over $1 billion comprehensive border plan. We're already working collaboratively to keep our citizens safe on both sides of the border. Of course, if the president does choose to proceed with tariffs on Canada, Canada will respond, and everything is on the table. Working in unison with Team Canada, as Team Canada, with business leaders, organized labor, civil society, Indigenous leaders, and premiers from coast to coast to coast, we are prepared for every possible scenario. In fact, just last night, I spoke to Premier Ford in his capacity as chair of the Council of the Federation, and he reiterated his unwavering commitment on behalf of Canadian premiers to working all together. This is an important and challenging moment for Canada and for Canadians, and we know there will be many such moments. Through all of it, I want to be clear that we have Canadians' backs. Notre gouvernement va toujours être là pour défendre le Canada, nos travailleurs, nos entreprises, notre économie et notre souveraineté. We will protect our national interest while we protect the most successful economic and security relationship the world has ever seen. I and my cabinet will continue to work with leaders across the country who've stepped up to unite in defense of Canadian workers, Canadian businesses, Canadian sovereignty. And that is precisely what we will continue to focus on today during this cabinet retreat.
A retreat.
Thank you. Merci d'être ici.
If they say retreat once more, I'm gonna lose my shit. Like, they get a special winter fucking vacation in Ottawa. Staying at some chalet. Skiing for 14 hours a day. I'm starting to really question Canadian politics. We look back and see some of the vacations Trudeau went on. Biden's no better. Biden went on a bunch of fucking weird vacations too. And there was like a thing, and it kept making like a baby out of something, and the woman loved it. I don't know. You watch some weird stuff sometimes. What's up, homies? Chatting with the wife about black.
With that, I'm looking forward to your questions.
I will take 20 minutes of questions. One question, one follow-up. 20 minutes de questions, une question, un suivi. Merci.
20 minutes of
Morning, Prime
questions.
Minister Laura Osman with The Logic. How
You guys
do you
ready for
interpret the
a
conflicting
children's game of
timelines the
softball,
Trump
everybody?
administration provided yesterday, targeting a study by April 1st, but
You guys
Canadian
ready
workers.
for the largest game of softball ever played by Canadian politicians? You guys see what I did there? No? Well, I'll explain. So, the Canadian media answers to the government because nobody watches Canadian media in Canada. So, the advertisers can't pay media stations if nobody's viewing. It's kind of like the YouTube thing. How many views did you get today? And then the media is like, okay, we'll give you, I don't know, $7 for each view. And they got 1,000 views, they'll get $7,000. Well, there's 20 people in the news station, and the power it takes to run the news station is $7,000, right? So what happens is the federal government steps in. I mean, the provincial government also can step in, but the federal government's the big boy. They step in, and they'll say, we'll give you $100 million, but then there'll be a clause. And the clause is, go back and look at 2020's clause. And go look at the amount of money the Canadian government, the feds, gave to Canadian media. And then start connecting the dots. And then go check what the Canadian media, regarding softballs, the federal government, which is this guy, unfortunately, I don't know how that, I mean, they all are feds, but this guy is the head of the feds. He had no bad press for 4 years. No big media outlet would say anything bad about him or about anything going on in Canada for 4 years. That ended. The deal, that agreement, the time lapsed, so it's now expired. The deal it's over. It's disgusting, eh? Yeah, I'm here. I'm totally here. I'm so disgusted at YouTube and Google. I can't even catch a fucking view lately. All my videos say I have like 66 people or 150 people have seen it, with average view durations of, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. At the end of a 60-minute video, it'll say 0 views. So YouTube has hindered my content for almost 4 years with this tactic. So I'm suing Google Canada, Google USA. I'm suing any Google Philippines. There's so many people that work for Google that work at Google and YouTube, and they're on YouTube with YouTube channels, profiting off these YouTube channels, and they work in the Philippines. They're giving their family members, they're breaking the rules for their family members and explaining how the algorithm works so they can backdoor money on the platform. This is from Philippines. Now, I know this is a fact because there are people from Philippines in Canada who have got into the market here in Canada on YouTube, and they have friends and family members who work for Google and YouTube in the Philippines. I have their screenshots of their faces, their names, but here's the thing. Secret Service has already verified what I said. So, and the reason is because these people have been detrimental to my YouTube channel. They've actually hindered my YouTube channel. So I want to press criminal charges as soon as possible. But these people are really good at hiding, I've been told. And they move. 3 people in Canada actually left Canada after some of this came out. Because what they're doing is highly illegal. Highly illegal. It's insider trading, next level insider trading. And it must be stopped. So, I will stop them. See, TikTok got banned in USA, Canada. Soon enough, it'll be gone, if it isn't already. But the East already knew that. Because these politicians are so two-faced, they told them. How do I know this? Because the corporations have already played their next set of cards. And it was over here on YouTube they played those cards. So watch the next video to understand exactly